Do you think that the average American realizes or appreciates what is at stake here, if there is an average American?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure they articulate it that way. I think perhaps Americans are unaware of how fragile our democracy can be because most of us alive, the vast majority of us alive now, don't really remember a world in which we didn't have the sort of government that did, in fact, do things like invest in cancer research, did, in fact, support education, did, in fact, work on our infrastructure, our supply chains, did try and encourage the American economy. So I don't think they recognize that it could go away. And I think you see this with the farmers who are horrified now to recognize that USAID will not be buying $2 billion worth of their products. So I think that that is starting to dawn on a lot of people, that there was more at stake than they thought. But I'm not sure people are aware of why the concept of American democracy remains so incredibly important. I think globally, but certainly here at home, because the idea that we have inherited this extraordinary inheritance of almost 250 years of a country that says we have a right to be treated equally before the law, we have a right to have a say in our government, and we have a right to have equal access to resources, including jobs and education, is really about human destiny and the idea that we are part of this inheritance of a form of government that was designed to guarantee that we could create our own futures. We don't talk about that in lofty terms in America a lot these days because I think people thought it was just our birthright and we didn't have to talk about it. But people all around the world are fighting for that. They're fighting for the right even to do things like drive a car if you're a woman. So the idea that we might be just throwing that overboard and rowing away from it strikes me as something that people ought to be paying attention to because it sounds grandiose and we put it together in daily practical ways, getting a job, getting to worship wherever you want, getting to say you don't like your government. But over all that, there is something really quite profound, and we're so incredibly lucky in this country to have inherited it, that the idea that people are willing to walk away from it, I don't think they really are if they think about it, because this is what their fathers fought for at D-Day. This is what we fought for in the Civil War. There's a heritage here that I think people care about when they understand that this is really what's at stake.
That was so beautiful and profound.